Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Charific here, still joined with Wannabe Reviewer.
Hello.
And we are going to tackle the rest of Pokemon 2000. And I will give you a heads up. We're going to be speeding through the last like half of the movie because the first third, which was in the first analysis, that's basically where a lot of the details are and just a lot of the setting up for the rest of the movie. And after that, it's basically just running around, going to each island. Ash gets whatever orb that represents the bird, and then the villain whose name we don't even know. So I'm just going to call him the Collector at this point. He catches the bird. And that's pretty much it. There are some shenanigans with like Team Rocket and like with Slow King, but it's all basically just filler for this movie.
Yeah, it's really weird because like the first third of the movie,
Yeah,
like we said, it wasn't great, but at least
yeah,
there's a setup. You kind of see what's happening, but literally from I want to say like 20 minutes up
yeah,
until like the hour mark for like 40 minutes, nothing happens. It's
yeah.
literally Ash. Like right now, I'm literally playing the movie on like a different screen as I'm talking to Terrific. I'm kind of watching it.
Hmm.
Ash runs to an island, grabs an orb, bird shows up. Bad guy comes and gets the bird. He captures it super easy, which is really
Yeah.
embarrassing. And then they have a few run-ins with like the antagonist, who literally
Hmm.
his whole reasoning is, oh, I like to collect stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have like a reason for wanting to destroy the world. It's like really
Yeah.
dumb.
Oh, yeah, yeah, because he knows the prophecy. Like, he knows that the world will end if he does this, and he's like, oh, I just want to catch Lugia. And it's like, that's stupid. Like,
Yeah, like, it's really bad. And
yeah.
then they have a few run-ins with him as they're collecting the orbs and like capturing the different legendary birds. And then basically, that's kind of it
Yeah,
until you reach like the out. I'm looking for it right now.
yeah,
Until you reach like the 50-minute mark, I want to say, when
yeah.
Lugia finally shows up, starts fighting the other three birds because I guess
Hmm.
Ash and friends, they help crash the bad guy's like airship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the birds start fighting each other like at the 50-minute mark.
Hmm.
But up until that, nothing happens. It's like just run around, doing nothing, random dialogue, nothing important.
Yeah, and then here's in my opinion, one of the dumbest things in this movie that one of the dumbest things that you can have the villain do in a movie, he releases them. Like he first of all he catches them by accident as he's trying to catch Zapdos, and then as he's monologuing, as Wannabe Reviewer said about how he just wants to have a collection, he just opens up their cage and lets them go. And then he just goes off. Like that's it. Like no explanation. He didn't even say, "Oh yeah, you're not even worth my time. I'll just release you and throw you overboard." No, he just opens up their cage and that's it. Just lets them go. And then that ends up with them releasing Moltres and then Zapdos, and then Zapdos and
All the birds
Moltres
fight each
crash.
other, like I
Yeah,
said. All the birds fight each
yeah,
other.
and might I add, no, I'll go into that later on because when we talk about the good and the bad, oh my gosh, do I have a lot to say. But we're just gonna pick up with the climax of the movie that happens in like the last 30 minutes, where basically Ash gets the final orb. He's going back to the shrine to place the orb, and he's on the back of Lugia, and they get knocked out of the sky. Lugia falls in the water. Ash is unconscious. Misty goes to help. They pull him out of the water, and Tracy does the only good thing in this movie, and he just pulls the rope to get Ash and Misty out the water. That's all Tracy does in this movie, and if he didn't do that, you could like literally cut him out, and he would do nothing. But let's see what else. Yeah, Ash places the final orb. Melody plays the song, which gives Lugia power. Lugia doesn't even tame the birds, so I don't even know what the
No,
point of
that's what makes
Lugia
it. That's what
was.
makes it. That's what I was about to say. Lugia isn't even needed because when it's fighting the other three birds, you're thinking like, okay, it's here to like take to calm them down, right?
Yeah,
No, for whatever reason, the other three birds basically, like he kind of explained earlier. The other three birds they bring Lugia down.
yeah, they gang up on him and
Ash
just take him
almost,
down.
yeah, Oh, Ash almost drowns.
Yeah.
They pull him out of the water. He's like, oof, I have no time to rest or be unconscious. He shakes himself off.
Yeah.
I need to go place these 3 orbs in the shrine. He does so. Melody plays the song, and the song is what calms everybody down.
Yeah, it's the freaking song. And if you look, if you look at the movie, like when she plays this, when Ash puts the orbs down, like green energy starts flowing, and as she plays the song, like that energy goes into the water, and then the water like heals everything or whatever. So literally, Lugia does nothing. Like they make Lugia to be this absolute power that's supposed to keep control of these birds, and even in the games, Lugia, like the 3 birds, they like Lugia is their ruler, like basically their boss. But in the movie, Lugia is worthless. Like it can't even put a stop to them, and it's the song that Melody plays that puts a stop to everything.
Lugia's kind of Tracy. If Lugia hadn't been in the movie, it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yes, like not at all.
Like the movie could have literally been Ash is told about this festival, how to do with the 3 Titans.
Yeah.
He needs to grab the 3 orbs.
Yeah.
He grabs all the orbs, puts them in the shrine. They play the song. It ends the problem. Lugia is not needed.
Yeah, Lugia is not needed at all. And oh my gosh, we
we'll come back to it. Hold on.
Yeah, let's wait.
So basically, yes, they play the song, that calms everybody down, all the birds are back to their senses, which I don't know why they weren't to their senses in the first place.
Yeah,
it's kind of silly.
Yeah, it's just a big turf war. Like that's all it is.
For some reason. And then, for whatever reason, Lugia is like appreciative of Ash for solving the problem, so he gets to write on it. He's really happy. Ash's mom. Oh, that's the thing that they keep cutting to Professor Oak, Ash's mom, and Professor Ivy. Which anyone who watched like the original cartoon, when Brock laughed, he was acting as an assistant for this professor called Professor Ivy. And since she's like the professor of the Orange Island area, she and Professor Oak are like teaming up to like, kind of tell investigators and reporters like what's happening. Like they're kind of trying to investigate. During the movie, we randomly keep cutting back to Professor Oak, Professor Ivy, and Ash's mom to see like what they're up to during the storms and stuff.
Yeah.
And so at the end, after Ash solves the problem, his mom shows up to say that, don't do such dangerous things. But then Misty's like, well, Ash is the one who like saved the world. And she's like, I know, but please take care of yourself. I don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah, like she basically just says a lot of sweet things that are useless. Like they don't advance anything in the movie, and they kind of come out of left field because it's like you and she even says it herself. She's like, yeah, I know you're a Pokemon trainer and I can't stop that, but try to be more careful. And it's like, why'd you even come here? Like
Ash is literally fine.
Yeah.
he takes care of himself quite well, surprisingly.
Yeah. And
then the professors and I think Ash's mom run off.
Yeah, they just leave.
Then we cut to the bad guy. He picks up a Mew. It's literally like one of those like Mew. It's like literally a Mew trading card.
Yeah.
And he kind of just smiles to himself under the moonlight, and he says like, "I'll restart my collection someday" or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like,
it's like
we get a lesson. Did he not learn a lesson? Is he in trouble? We don't know. It literally shows that he picks up his Mew card. His airship is destroyed.
Yeah. So he's stranded on an island.
Yeah. And then the movie ends with Team Rocket. We forgot to mention that earlier. Something that was kind of cool. Team Rocket doesn't want the world to end because then they can't do their thing. They enjoy living. They enjoy chasing after Ash and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a part where they do help Ash by...
They let go of Lugia. They're riding onto Lugia, and they realize that they're slowing Lugia down. And so they just let go and fall into the water.
Well,
and
before
so
that, they give him a ride.
Oh, yeah, they actually give him a ride. Yeah,
so they give him a ride to one of the islands in their boat. On that island, they get picked up by Lugia. Ash, Pikachu, and Team Rocket. Team Rocket basically sacrifices themselves because they're like, we're slowing you down. And then at the end of the movie, literally at the last scene, is Team Rocket, like, they wash ashore, and they're like, oh, it's good that we're alive or whatever, but it sucks that nobody saw our good deeds.
Mm-hmm.
And then Slow King is like, don't worry, they saw what you did, they know that you're heroes, and he's looking at the camera.
Yeah.
And then Team Rocket also looks at the camera, and they're really happy that their heroics got noticed.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie. That's how the movie ends.
Yep, that's it. Well, no. The movie also ends with this random, like, R&B song that doesn't fit the theme. Like, it doesn't fit the theme of the movie at all. Like, it's just this random song.
To be fair, the last movie kind of did that too, where it showed like a montage of people just hanging out, and it had like a random song. To be fair, the last one kind of did something like that too.
Okay, well, I guess I'll give the movie that. But the movie basically just ends with no closure, like, at all. Like, in the little epilogue that they show, like, they just show, I don't know, like, because I did see the epilogue of it, and they just show, like, they're all just doing their thing. What's up? Why?
Well, you know why? Because this one is even more awkward than the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
In the first movie, you know where in the timeline it takes place.
Yeah.
It takes place, after Ash has all his badges, and we know that because Mewtwo shows up, and we see the part where he fights Gary and all that, remember?
Yeah.
So at the end, when it shows that everyone just continues on their adventure,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes sense. But here, we don't really know what part of the Orange Islands arc it takes place in.
Well,
when we see everybody just go back to do their own thing, it's like, I don't know what their own thing means. I don't know what they're gonna do next.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the only indication is that Ash has Snorlax. And I believe he catches, but I think he catches Snorlax pretty early on in the Orange Islands, though, right? So again, like, that's not really much of an indication.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, but yeah, I was gonna mention that, but I forgot. But like, we have no idea where this takes place. Like they just bring in this random boat lady, like, even when they've never ridden on a boat once Ash got Lapras. So why are they on a boat now?
And then the Orange Islands was literally like 4 different small islands.
Yeah, the Orange Islands were 4 islands.
With each one being a different badge and a championship.
Yeah, so where are all these random islands coming from? Because we've never heard of them.
Yeah, so that's why the movie just feels really weird. Like, this one for sure felt very unorganized.
Yeah.
And like they just wanted a movie to, tie in with the legendaries or whatever.
Yeah. But they didn't even do that well, because we barely even see Lugia until like the last 30 minutes, and it does nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I just looked up the name of the bad guy. The name of the bad guy is Lawrence the Third.
When did that come up?
They probably mentioned that at some point. I don't know. His name is Lawrence the Third, though. It says it in the wiki, so.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I believe you, but it's like, I remember watching, like, I listened to the movie, like, right before we started this, and it's like, I never once heard them mention his name. Like, he's just a random bad guy, no motivation, like, no real motivation, other than he wants to start get his collection, but he's aware that if he does, the world will end, and he never brings that up. Like, he never brings up, like, oh yeah, once I have Lugia, then I'll stop the world from ending, or something like that, at least to tie in with the whole main plot of the movie, which is they're trying to stop the world from ending. Like, they never once, like, tie the two together. He's just randomly in here. So
yeah, I like how I'm really looking at the wiki for any sort of information.
Yeah.
All I'm seeing, it just says the film is set during the Orange Island saga.
Yeah.
That's all you can tell me, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's so weird.
And we completely like skipped right into the bad. We didn't talk about the good. The only good is that the movie ends and Team Rocket makes some nice puns. Like, that's it, people. Like, there's no real good in this movie.
There was a part the only thing I really like about this movie is like the humor and like the fourth wall breaks. I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was funny, but that
too. I like the fourth wall breaks were all right.
Yeah.
Like that random joke, like the random adult joke
the Krabby's joke, that was nice.
Even though it was like kind of awkward, I kind of liked Melody messing with Misty. I did think it was kind of funny, her just calling her out for stuff.
Yeah.
Especially because Misty gets so salty about it, that's what makes it kind of funny.
Yeah, she does.
And there's a part I like. Where everybody kind of meets up together. I think it's after the first the first orb,
Yeah.
that they're all talking about like relationships and if Misty is like Ash's girlfriend or not.
Yeah.
And then Team Rocket is also talking about like not messing with the opposite
Oh,
sex
yeah.
because they're like a waste of time or whatever.
Yeah, that was
And then I
funny.
remember, and then like Meowth kind of points out like something about like James and Jesse.
Yeah, he was like, "You guys don't have to worry about messing with the opposite sex because you have each other," or something like that. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, so it was, that part, like some of the humor was kind of funny, you know.
Yeah.
But besides that, the movie
But it
didn't
doesn't
really have
save the
much.
movie. Yeah, like the humor is like kind of few and far between, and it doesn't save the movie in my opinion. And also, like I know we've already talked about the pacing, which the pacing was terrible. Like literally nothing happens except for the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes and an hour and a half movie, which is never good. A lot of unnecessary things. And another and another thing I want to bring up is that they just completely ignore something. Like when Ash is going to get the last orb, he's like, "Oh, I'll never make it there." And then Pikachu points to like the destroyed boat, and then Ash makes like a sled with it, and he has like his Pokemon pulling the sled, and he has Charizard pulling the sled when he can literally just ride on the back of Charizard, or Lugia's right there. Like Lugia's literally following Ash, so why can't Lugia give him a ride to the island to get the last orb? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
like, oh my
Huh.
gosh, like so many things that just don't make sense. And then like another thing that I've noticed, we've already talked about Slowking being useless. Like, I feel like they could have just taken out Slowking and just put the village elder in place, because basically all Slowking does is just confirm that the prophecy is real and that Ash is the actual chosen one. And that's pretty much it for Slowking. But I feel like they could have just substituted that with like one of the like little islanders or whatever.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, that's so true too. Yeah, they didn't really need Slowking either. It was just really random. The more you think about
yeah.
it.
And and then like I don't know, like the big moment when Ash does realize that he's the chosen one, like it also kind of feels unearned in my opinion, because Ash is having doubts that he can do it, and he's sad. He was even crying about it. And then, like, literally 5 seconds later, like, Misty's like, "Oh no, Ash, you can do it." Then he's like, "Yeah, you're right. I can do this." It's like, whoa, there was no build up. like he just randomly just I don't know, like all Misty says two things, and then instantly Ash just perks up and is ready to take on this heroic duty to save the world. When literally like 3 seconds earlier, he was literally in tears because he didn't know if he could do it. So,
Yeah.
and then the final thing that I'm going to bring up is the whole point of Ash being the chosen one
Oh, the
makes.
boat lady's name was Marin.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I'm looking up the wiki. Her name was Marin. I didn't remember.
Yeah, this movie's really forgettable to be honest. But the last thing is that Ash being the chosen one, they never explain what magical power he has that makes him the chosen one. Like Ash even brings it up. He's talking to Lugia. He's like, "What can I do that someone else can't do?" And then Lugia just says, "Oh, you can awaken the orbs so that they can resonate with my song." And then that was it. Like we don't get a like they could have even said, "Oh, it's your positive attitude or your determination that makes you the chosen one that can awaken the power of the orbs." But no, it's just no, you can do it. That's it. So yeah. Okay, I think I'm good. I think I've ranted about enough. Is there anything that you want to add?
Not really, man. I mean, I just think it's pretty disappointing compared to the first one. You know, I mean, like,
Yeah, same.
I wouldn't say like any of these Pokemon movies. I mean, as we'll go on, there's gonna be like some better one. They're gonna be like all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't say any of them are great, but at least the
Uh-huh.
first one felt like it kind of had some weight
Yeah,
to
it
it.
had
You
a
know,
purpose. It actually
like we
explained, it
literally
added to the
saw.
lore.
Yeah, like it added to the lore. We saw some legendaries that weren't in the actual series, you know, with Mew and Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Mewtwo, it felt like he kind of had a reason for why he was doing what he was doing.
Yeah, it was
He felt like
justified.
he felt like an actual threat, sort
Yeah.
of. There was kind of a lesson too, where at the end they kind of changed his mind about like humanity or whatever. That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And this one, it's just very random. Like we said,
Yeah.
Lugia feels totally like he didn't need to be in the movie. The whole quest was just kind of weird, you know, and the way they portray all the birds going at each other and stuff was just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So
So,
I don't know. It's
so,
just
but I guess
like
with
something I
that,
just thought of.
what's up?
You know how if you have each of the orbs and you put them at the shrine and you play the song that calms down the birds?
Yes.
Why not just always keep the orbs
Oh my
at
gosh,
hand?
yes.
Why are they
Yeah.
at the different temples then anyway then?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you just keep them on hand
Yeah,
in case
that's
ever
true.
happens?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that, but I did write it down and I'm saying it here. Like, why not just keep them all in one place? Just so, yeah, exactly like you said. And
But yeah, the
yeah.
whole movie just felt very eh. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, it felt kind of like a lot happens, but at the same time, nothing happens, and it felt very
Yeah.
like boring. It felt kind of useless, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only thing I would really say that I liked, number one, I liked like the humor and like the fourth wall breaks. I thought those were kind of fun. And number two, another thing that I did like some of the imagery, especially like at the beginning of the movie where we see the bad guy show up in his airship.
Yeah.
Like the animation did look kind of cool for that. I'll
Yeah,
admit.
yeah, for the time it did. Yeah, I'll give it that. I guess
Oh,
they
one other
did.
thing I just remembered. I'm almost forgetting it.
What up?
Another weird thing that the movie raises up, right? So not only did it feel kind of useless, not did it feel kind of weird. The villain's motivation was very like we don't really know what the deal is, whatever, blah blah.
Yeah.
There was something that happens in the movie that raises some interesting, very weird questions.
Okay.
Near the beginning of the movie, when we're in the bad guy's airship, as he sits in his seat,
Oh yeah.
and he's getting like his seat is getting like propelled upwards or whatever to like a different floor. There is religious imagery in his ship.
Yeah,
Like he
that's
literally has
right.
angels and stuff like think of like the Sistine Chapel. It looks
Yes.
like that on the roof of his ship, the ceiling or whatever. So that means the Bible is a thing in the Pokemon universe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it would. I mean, it would kind of have to be like the Bible would have to, the Bible would have to be in because the Christian aspects, and then if you have those aspects, then by extension, Christianity is tied to Judaism, and then because we talked about this before we started, and then I brought up the fact that if there's Judaism, then there's Jews, so there's a good chance that there's a Pokemon Hitler.
And I was like, I don't know if there necessarily has to be, but I guess there could be, which is really weird to think about.
Yeah, so hey, who knows? Maybe if Pokemon does maybe if Game Freak decides to do like a region in Germany.
Oh boy.
Oh
No.
man.
Oh
Okay,
no.
but in conclusion, based off of normally we give our opinions on if the movie is objectively good or bad, and you can probably tell that we kind of think that the movie is not the best. Wannabe,
It's very forgettable, very just
yeah,
unneeded, honestly.
yeah,
It's just, eh.
yeah. Wannabe Reviewer was being pretty modest, I think, pretty classy. I'm just gonna say it and be blunt. The movie, dumpster fire. The plot, trash. Pacing, trash. Villain, trash. Ending, eh. But I don't know, man. They're definitely, especially when you're comparing it to the first movie. So I don't know. Take that with what it is. So,
Yeah.
oh man. And then, yeah, I suppose that's all that I really wanted to discuss. I think I've insulted this movie enough.
All
But
right then.
so,
So, where does that leave us then? What is the plan then? What is the next movie we're gonna cover?
well, the next movie is a movie that I remember from my childhood that I hope it holds up because I haven't seen it in like 10, 15 years again. And that is I believe the Power of Unknown, which has do you remember it somewhat? It has
Is that the next one?
Entei. Yeah, that's the next one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pokemon 3, the movie, Spell of the
Yeah,
Unknown.
there we go. Spell of the
Nice.
Unknown. And that
Hopefully it's a little
movie
better.
I love. So
Hopefully it's better.
But with that, show Wannabe Reviewer some love if you want him to come back, and if you want me to release him from my basement so he can finally get out of here.
Oh jeez.
But yeah, show some love to him. He's got some cool stuff going on later on in the month. I also should have some kind of new things popping up on the channel if things go well and if I can get off my lazy butt. But with that, you know the drill. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next analysis. Bye.
Later.